for the evening. This is my mentor, and he's going to tell the story. So I won't even, steal any of his thunder, but let's just say that what he's been able to do in Maryland has duplicated all the way to the great islands of Hawaii, which I was birthed through that marketplace because I went to Hawaii on a vacation and came back to California, a fired up entrepreneur because of this gentleman's work. He knows 100% of the facts. He loves to help people. He loves having fun. And he's had a boatload of success. Of course, you guys know that. But what I love about him most is he is truly down to earth. Who mentors you over a decade and you continue to have success over and over again. I am a result of that, and I am proud to bring to you our speaker for the evening, none other than Mr. Kevin Mack. I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, man, I'm so excited here, guys, this evening, just with the opportunity that I have to hear from Miss Emmeline Katoa. We call her Queen Emmeline, as you can see why. She's very, very special with her personality. She has a heart so big. I truly don't know how it fits in her chest. She's actually multitasking today. She's participating in an event where she's helping, oh man, all of Southern California. But she thought it not robbery to jump in here today and continue to serve. And hopefully that speaks volumes for you guys about the association that's here, the association that we all have personally and professionally, guys, can propel us to new heights. And so we appreciate you for that so much, Miss Emmeline Katoa. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about you guys, the guests. Look, we truly appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule because you accepted an invitation from someone who thought about you, right? They thought about you and an opportunity for you to join us in our crusade to make a living while making a difference. But you accepted the invitation, and that makes you, right, a special person, right? It's respectful. Someone invited you to see something, and you too thought in that robbery to take from your time to see what it is that they wanted to share with you. All right, and so let's go ahead and get started here a little bit. I'll share my Dun and Bradstreet, and we'll be out of your way shortly, right? The information that I'm going to share itself is actually going to take 15 to 20 minutes to share how to impact your lives, guys, indefinitely. I got to tell you that. And then we'll talk a little bit afterwards to see if we're fit for one another. And so let's go ahead and get started. So my name's Kevin Mack, and I come from a background in corporate America and small business ownership. I was a retail store manager with CVS Pharmacy. Guys, from the age of 22 to 26, about the age of 25, I was recognized as one of the top managers in the company. And they flew me to an event for recognition, right? And you guys know how we feel about recognition. It said that babies cry for it and men die for it. They said, Kevin Mack, Washington, D.C., $5.5 million, guys, was how much my store had earned the year before. But they never paid me more than $50,000. How about that, guys? And so there I was, living paycheck to paycheck. There, my wife there in the picture, the kid and I, we weren't married at the time, but she was with me on that journey of living paycheck to paycheck. And we did have two kids. I had my first child at 22 and my second at 24. But you know what, guys, I went on this journey where I just wasn't going to look back. And so I went on and opened my own traditional business, guys, a retail clothing store. And I ran that operation for about 2 short years. And not before long, a stranger walked in. And so it's at this point in the presentation, guys, where I don't want you guys to focus on me at all. My screen here is going to come down. because I want you to focus on the information, the life-changing information, guys, that has allowed so many of us to actually sleep better at night. And so that stranger, guys, walked into my clothing store. I was 29 years old. And here's what he said. He said, I see that you're doing pretty good for yourself, but would you be interested in both the money and the time? And guys, those were two things that I did not have, right? I absolutely did not have, right? My kids would sleep when I went to work, right? And most days they would sleep when I came home. Even though I owned that traditional business, I also owned an 85 Dodge Caravan that was leaking oil all over the place, right? And so I quickly understood why they called it a storefront. But that day, that gentleman changed everything. He shared the value proposition with me that I'm going to share with you guys. And I took advantage of it right away. And you know what? I believe that you will too. When properly informed, right, people take action right away. And it was surely a service that my family needed immediately. But then he went on to share with me, guys, how to invest less than the cost of my cash register, guys, here into this opportunity. And guess what, guys? We joined nearly 300 people who've been paid in excess of what, $1 million. Some households, individual families, been paid 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, 25 million. One particular family, the Savula family, been paid in excess of $40 million just from sharing this information. Just think about that, right? Just from sharing the information that someone is sharing with you while I do the talking, that family been paid, guys, over $40 million. The reason why we share those different income spectrums, guys, it's important. It's just to make sure that, you know, we're connecting with each person on this line and their goals, right? Because maybe 1 million doesn't do anything for your goals and dreams, right? Maybe 5 million doesn't do anything for your goals and dreams. I get it, right? The bigger we think, the more disciplined we become. So maybe 10 million, 15 million, 20 million is in line with your goals and dreams. Guys, we helped a lot of businesses and families during the pandemic, right? Because we are surely a rock solid opportunity that can accommodate the goals that you have. So I think you guys would agree that the world has forever changed, right? Most are recognizing it as a result of the pandemic, right? A few of us, we already took action years ago, guys. We'd already prepared for this time, but we're so excited that many are participating with us now, right? We're in a work from anywhere revolution. So this gives me the opportunity to address uh, a thought out there, a thought where many Americans are moving towards work from home. 60 Minutes had a particular episode where they talked about 1.5 million new jobs are open out in the workplace because people have decided to work from home, but they've taken on new jobs from home. Guys, this is a little bit different. I'm talking about being able to work from anywhere, working for yourself. How about that? See, this is where the idea and understanding of making, right, 6 figures from home, multiple 6 figures and 7 figures from home is because we're actually working for ourselves. And I got to tell you, hey, you find a job that allows you to work from home, hey, you take advantage of it. But you know what? In the slivers of time, in your spare time, there are opportunities like this where you can double and triple that income, right? The opportunity to have more time, more flexibility, guys, and more independence. It's what we're looking for, right? Harvard School of Business says when taking a look, right, at any business opportunity, there are 5 areas that we should evaluate, right? The first is the company itself. right? How long has it been around? What is its business model? But moreover, is it financially sound? Right. The second is the need in the marketplace, right? A need is defined as something that you must have, like right up there with oxygen, right? We know what happens without oxygen. The third is the product itself. Read any book on how to become truly wealthy, and what you'll read is this: find the need, right, or the void in the marketplace, right? You provide that product that fills that need or void, and you can become a truly wealthy person. Guys, that's what we're doing here in your spare time, right? Part time. I'm always excited to highlight that idea, right? My good friend, Mr. Caldy Sprague, is on here, right? He works with Trader Joe's, something that he somewhat enjoys right now. But guess what? He earned nearly a six-figure income in his spare time, in the slivers of time, about $70,000, guys, just in the slivers of time sharing this information, right? That's more than somebody's what full-time income, just sharing this information, right? That I'm sharing with you, right? Compensation. Guys, here's the litmus test on compensation, my personal litmus test, right? How many of you guys can recall the name of your great grandfather? I used to ask this question uh, uh, pre-pandemic when we would do live events, and I don't know, maybe one out of every 100 persons would say they know who their great grandfather actually was, right? For the masses, they didn't, right? You know why? It was because he didn't leave you anything, right? Because he could have left you a dollar bill and a frame or something other than his last name in debt. That's how we like to put it, right? Sometimes I run into some of my father's friends and they say, "You Jimmy's boy?" And I say, yeah. And you know what they say? They say he owed me $10, right? And some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And then there's timing. It's been proven that the T in timing, guys, is more valuable than the T in talent. Because you know what I'm doing right now? Guys, I'm just reading some slides, right? Telling you a little bit about my story. And as a result of this particular activity, my wife and I have been paid about $3 million doing just this. All right. And so let's talk about our company, guys. Here we are celebrating our 50th year, guys, the golden anniversary. It's only a handful of companies in this space, about 10%, if you will, that have lasted, right? 50 plus years, right? We're one of them. How awesome is that? We have 4.4 million lives here protected and empowered in the US. I'm just really thankful this came my way 22 years ago, where my family was blessed enough to be a part of that number. And it's because we have an amazing vision, which is to provide equal access, right, to the liberty, equality, opportunity, right, and justice that every human deserves, guys. How special is that? I think you guys would agree that the way that we used to do things might not quite be the way that we'll continue to do things. And this was right prior to the pandemic, guys. Things had already changed. We were accustomed to going to the mall, because my wife and I wanted to go out, uh, just because sometimes that's a good thing, right? We went to Target to get a particular game console that she wanted, right? We went out and we took advantage of the opportunity to be able to still go and shop, right? It's okay. But guess what? The particular game that she wanted for the video console, we had that delivered the next day by Amazon. How cool is that? Right? And so that's where we are. And that combination worked out fine. For some of us, you don't want to go out at all. And so everything is coming via Amazon, right? And that's fine as well. Right? There was a time when we all used to go out to the record stores to buy the cassette tapes and the CDs, right? We wouldn't quite do that this day and time. Why? Because you can pull out your phone, tap an app, and have the music streamed right there to your mobile device. Because of the use of digital disruptive innovation, which is a fancy word for an app, guys, that's all it is. Things have become simpler, easier, and more affordable. Well, what if I told you that we have an app that provides the greatest value proposition in the world today, right? The thing that made me say yes to that stranger. And this was prior to there being an app, right? It just made sense to me what he shared. You know what he shared with me? He shared with me the opportunity for me and my family to have equal access to the justice system. How significant is that? To have 24/7 access to our own law firms. How incredible is that? Yes, I'm talking about having access to attorneys. Now, I know, guys, I get it because of the way many of us were raised, right? Different times, different ways, different eras, if you will. We tend to only seek attorneys when we're in trouble. I'm so thankful that I was able to give my children a different perspective on that. Guys, when I got the service from that stranger the day that I met him, did I say I was in trouble? No, I said I was a young aspiring entrepreneur with a clothing store. I wasn't in trouble because of who I was, my life experiences. Man, I was waiting for something like this. Man, knowing how expensive attorneys actually are. And this gentleman said that for less than $1 a day, right? Less than a cup of coffee a day, in fact, my family could have equal access to justice. You know, I've shared with my children, and as you saw, there was a picture there of them, so I'll make many references of them. I said, you're supposed to have that access for progress, for progress. If you're buying a home, right? If you're buying a car, if you're starting a business, to get advice to prevent trouble. So the wealthy, that is how they have always approached why their family should get legal help. It's for progression. We've created a whole world, a whole segment who've conditioned themselves, or we've conditioned them to think only seek the attorneys for trouble. And because of that thinking, people often what? Find trouble. This here is supposed to be a needs assessment, but if you look a little bit closer to some of the items here, guys, it looks a little bit more like a stress assessment, doesn't it? And guess what? Guys, stress kills. Over 70% of most doctor visits are actually stress related. And so I've often said that, guys, one day, just one day, the legal plan will be recognized as the #1 health plan in America. How about that, guys? The opportunity to truly have a peace of mind and sleep better at night, right? This is not the service not to have. So, what is Legal Shield and how great is the need? Legal Shield is a unique service, guys, a priceless benefit that gives you and your family the opportunity to take out your phone, tap an app, and have access to the very best law firms, guys, all across North America, not just in your home state, but when you cross state lines, guys, you still have the peace of mind, right? The protection that you deserve, right? From the trivial to the traumatic. And you have that power in the palm of your hand, right? Not for what, $250 an hour or $250 a month. Let's look, guys, $29.95. The entire family, right? If you have 10 family members, right? Children under the age of 26, never been married before, they qualify. The entire family is covered for $30 a month. Now I think you understand why when I was 29 years old and a stranger shared this with me, okay, 22 years ago, I took advantage of this right there on the countertop of my showroom floor. Doesn't that make sense? Why would I say no to giving my family equal access to justice for less than a cup of coffee a day? Right? The only reason we say no to that is just really just lack of education of the benefit, the value, right? Or right, we think we can't afford $1 a day. And we're going to help you with that, guys. We get unlimited toll-free telephone consultation, letters and phone calls on your behalf. I got to tell you, one of my favorite, right? It's all incredible, but two facts I want to share with you. Fact number one, 7 out of 10 Americans do not have a last will and testament, right? Fact number two is that 10 out of 10 of us are going to need one. God's wills are not for you. They represent the final love letter to the people who we leave behind. And you know the things I've been hearing over the years, people saying things like, I don't need one. I don't have anything to leave. And, we start to move into some of our parents who are set in their ways, right? Some of the baby boomers. I know there's some baby boomers here on the line. Let me tell you guys, when you don't have a will in place, you know what you leave? You're the person who leaves your family trouble. How about that? The one who prepares, right? They leave their family with peace of mind because they've helped with the decision making process of where things go. The masses, those who leave family with trouble by not having a will, right? They leave siblings fighting over silverware. Typically, a $500 to a $5,000 right value and expense that people would make in this, right? Here it is at no additional cost, guys. The day that you invest, right, the $29.95 in your family for your peace of mind, you actually get to start working on that will. How incredible is that, guys? Traffic ticket assistance, right? Trial defense, who's suing who in America, guys, you name it. And then I mentioned to you guys earlier 24/7 access. My wife is a Zumba fitness instructor, and she went to a Zumba fitness convention in Orlando. And one night at midnight, we needed to call our attorneys. And just knowing that I was responsible as a husband to get this service, and she was actually able to reach out to the attorney, guys. My children, while they were in college, oh man, I'm paying $1 a day while my children are in college to make sure that they had 24/7 access. So hopefully you guys see where I'm going with this. This isn't just about you guys. This is about your family, right? I said the member's covered, the member's spouse, and he never married before children living at home up to the age of 26. And he never married before children living at home up to the age of 18 for whom you're legal guardian of, right? As well as any physically or mentally challenged children for the remainder of their lives. Guys, we also tackle head on the fastest growing crime in the world today. You know what it is. Guys, it's identity theft. Right? Our best definition is quite simple. It's when someone utilizes your name, your good name, and they utilize it for their benefit, but to your detriment. It's really simple. Guys, we have the most robust, the strongest identity theft program that exists. We've been ranked as number one by Forbes, right? Already time tested. When someone compromises your identity, guys, they don't take your past, nor do they take your present. You know what they're taking? They're taking your future. We shared these services just the other day with a business partner, right? A brand new business partner, and he said that his cousin is currently incarcerated because they were a victim of identity theft, right? Remember, I said if someone compromises your identity, they don't take your past, nor do they take your present. What do they take? Guys, they take your future. Look, you already gave your information away. You did, right? You already gave it away. And you know how much you gave it away for? In most cases, about $10. That first job you took while in high school, right? $5 an hour, $7 an hour. You gave your information away. When I was a manager at CVS Pharmacy, I had access to the files. I could write down all the names, socials, anything, right? If I was that person, that information I had access to. So when it comes to identity theft protection, the purpose is to reduce the effect that identity theft would have on you should the people who you already have given it to decide to use it. What am I saying? It's already out there. You're not stopping people from taking it because you gave it away, right? The Department of Motor Vehicles already been compromised, right? Banks, your favorite retail stores, right? All of these entities have already been compromised. Some, what they do is give you a year free of identity theft protection. Guys, that's not enough because your information is out there and it's when someone decides to use it. Look at this, as an individual, we add that on for 19.95, still less than a cup of Starbucks coffee a day. You have a family, we add this on to the legal plan for 34.95. What are we looking at? Still less than a cup of coffee a day. One of our newest benefits, boy, are we really thinking about the household, right? Because you must know that a good name is better than money. A good name is better than money. Why? Because if you don't have a good name, you don't get the money. Does that make sense? The bank doesn't give you the money, right? The person who you're right attempting to borrow money from, they don't give you the money if your name isn't good. The employer doesn't give you the job, right? When my wife was uh, taking advantage of an opportunity with a fitness establishment, you know what they did? The person who interviewed her, she said, I looked at your Facebook page, right? Nice. People are utilizing, right, social media. They want to see who you are. Guys, a good name is better than money. So when you get the legal plan along with our ID Shield, right, our identity theft benefit, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you a third product that doesn't exist if you just get one service. We're going to give you a third product, our credit counseling and education. Many of you guys may know it as like credit repair, right? Some of us are paying what, $100 a month for credit repair out there. And hey, that's great that you were taking action on that. What I'm telling you is you don't have to pay that much money. Guys, just getting our legal plan and ID Shield, we're giving you the credit counseling and education. How special is that? So we're going to save you. We're going to save you some money, right? If you let that service go, take advantage of this, we're going to save you about 40 or $50 or so. As I stated, guys, ranked number one by Forbes. You can't get any better than that. And once again, with the ID Shield, we're taking care of the entire family as well, and up to 10 dependents, 10 children under the age of 18. How special is that? Here's how you allow Legal Shield to cover the cost for you through our members perks, guys. So actually, to not be a Legal Shield member or ID Shield member, you're actually losing money. Member perks, we got about 500 companies to agree to the steepest discount you'll find anywhere. Why would they do it? Well, because we brought 4.4 million lives. We took our collective buying power. Here's a real business lesson for you. We took our collective buying power of the 4.4 million lives, got these 500 companies that you use, services that you use daily, weekly, and monthly. We got them to agree to the steepest discounts for you. The aggressive user, meaning the person who checks this as much as they check, right, Amazon, saves about $2,000 cash in pocket a year. The legal plan itself, guys, less than $400 a year. So not taking advantage of this and the members perks, you're actually losing money. So this is how you allow Legal Shield to cover the cost, right, of your $29.95 plus $19.95, or your $29.95 plus $34.95 for your family. And this is a la carte though, guys. You get what it is that you can afford. If you have a business, look at this, guys, an additional $14.95. If you already have a home-based business, right? Maybe you sell jewelry, right? Maybe you sell travel, you might sell health and wellness. I don't know. You're already a part of the 14%, who are entrepreneurs in America. Congratulations. So what you can see here is we have the service for the individual, for the family, and for the business. We're never in competition with anything out there, guys, because there is no competition. We have what everyone needs. We want your family to thrive. We want your business to thrive. Let's talk about the money, right? You invited here tonight for one of two reasons, if not both. The first reason is because someone simply wanted to see you and your family protected with these great services, right? Give that person a virtual high five for that because they thought about you. And again, it really doesn't get any more special than that, about someone thinking about you. And again, we appreciate you getting on to receive that invitation. And the other reason why they invited you on, guys, is look, we helped so many families during the pandemic. What do I mean by helped? People lost their jobs, companies folded. You guys know what happened, right? Many of it, we were a part of, the real blunt end of it. And people were hurting, but people were able to turn to us and our opportunity. And we did presentations like this all day long for people. And guess what? Folks made an extra $50,000 cash in the bank, right? Getting involved with us there about the end of, was it March, April or so, when things shut down. And before the year was over, people earned an extra 50,000, an extra 100,000. Some people their first year with us made in excess of 200,000. Some people who really took this seriously, guys. That's who we are. Our service was deemed as essential. Come on, guys. People needed to call attorneys all the time to see what their rights were companies, right, treating them right, were they being lawful. Guys, so it was so many aspects of what we do that made the difference for people. But this one here stood out the most, was helping people to make full-time income on a spare time basis. I want you to understand the word spare time. When I got started, I still was working at the store, right? My store, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And in the slivers of time, I shared this information with people and made $5,000 my first month, almost 100,000 the first year. Yes, I did let the store go when I saw that I could make six figures, right, in my spare time. Here's why. Get paid 70 to 448 per subscription. What does that mean? It means exactly what it says. Protect the household, a family, for 64.90, right? They get the legal plan along with the ID Shield for the family. Okay, that 64.90 transaction. We're going to pay you more than what you send us, $70. Guys, how incredible is that? If that person had two people on the line right now, they just made $140. Guys, you tell me, how many hours would you have to work on your job to make $140? How many hours would you have to work to make $70? The average income in America is somewhere moving up to about $12 an hour. Last I checked, I remember it was 11. So let's say for $12 an hour. Guys, I just said $70. And we haven't been on the line for an hour. Okay. And I'm sharing a little bit more than just the services. So I hope you guys can appreciate that. Look, how about that? All the way up to 448 per subscription. That's almost $500 for this brief conversation that we've had today. 448, that's almost 500, right? $500 a day. What's that? 2,500 a week? Is that $10,000 a month at the highest level? Guys, this is spare time, part-time. With this opportunity, I was able to retire my wife from the workplace. We got to make that clear, from the job. Almost 20 years ago. She's celebrating a birthday tomorrow, in fact. Almost 20 years ago, we was able to retire her. She was 30 years old. This is unbelievable when I really think about it. Right? She was 30 years old, and because of this part-time, spare time opportunity that came my way by a stranger, she hasn't had to punch a clock in almost 20 years. That's what this is. All right. She was able to be home and catch things with the kids that I didn't catch, that I didn't see. I'm telling you. And let me tell you what the results were, right? The results were amazing. The results were amazing. Children end up being scholars. They have master's degrees, um, coming out of Maryland University. And we're proud of that because that was work. That was work on their behalf, but positioning ourselves to be more available was important. And work was taking place here with this opportunity to be able to do that, guys. All right. I talked to you guys about associations earlier. And so because our children grew up in this environment, in their 20s, right, they're able to see six figures in savings in their banks, and we didn't give it to them. Okay, we did not give it to them. Here's their association: Brian and Melissa Carruthers, right, one of the most successful real estate entities in the Northeast here in Maryland, Prudential Carruthers Realtors. Brian Carruthers is the youngest son of Tommy Carruthers, right? They've made millions upon millions, tens of millions, okay, in real estate. And let me be clear on that, hundreds of millions in real estate. But Mr. Brian Carruthers here, he makes almost $2 million a year, sharing a $30 legal plan. Not selling houses. He's been paid $25 million. Darnell and Tracy Self, two-time Entrepreneur of the Year for the National Black Chamber of Commerce. They make over $1 million a year. They've been paid about 20 million. You know, that story is special because 30 days before they got involved with Legal Shield, you know what? Their house was in foreclosure and their car was repossessed. Yeah, 30 days before getting involved. How do we go from that to $20 million earned? Well, it's the opportunity, right? But it said that an opportunity is only an opportunity if you seize the opportunity. Liz Fu, she used to be out here with us on the East Coast. She was a fitness instructor as well. Moved out to California, met David, got married, had kids, and they're having $1 million home being built right now in California. Really special, multiple six-figure annual income. I'm so excited for them. And Anita Sarda in Canada. Remember, I said we are in North America. We're an international company. She's an actress in her spare time, a business mogul as well, and she earns a six-figure income, single parent mom from home. Guys, we have leveraged income, which makes this possible. My good friend Danny Katoa, he's 5,000 miles away from me in Hawaii. He was only making about $22,000 a year on his job, and that just wasn't quite enough to provide for his wife. His father-in-law wasn't quite happy. So he went on the internet. The man made a decision to do something about his needs. And he came across our company via the internet. He went from $22,000, guys, a year on the job to 22,000 in a month here. He's even had a $22,000 plus payday because of the bonuses that we have. Right, we have all kind of bonuses. One of my wife and I bonuses was more than what CVS Pharmacy had paid me for an entire year. Right, the bonus that we received was more than that entire annual income. So I think that's a big deal. Then residual income, guys. The work that we're doing today, it doesn't just pay us today, it pays us for 20 years. So when you protect yourself and your family today, like most smart people do, you know what's going to happen? Watch this. The person who enrolls you, their family is going to get paid for 20 years. How about that? You went to work, right, today or any other day. And for that particular day, the company continues to pay you a percentage, right? 10% minimum of the income they paid you today, and they keep compounding that. Guys, that does not exist in the workplace. See, in the workplace, you're building up, looking to one day become a six-figure earner on the job. And when you achieve that and you retire, you don't continue to get paid, right? You don't continue to get paid six figures on the job. That's why the saying goes, you work 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life to retire off of 40% of what you couldn't make it off of when you were getting the full 100%. See, here it's different. You're building up to a six-figure income for retirement. So we have about 50,000 people earning anywhere from $100 extra a month to over $100,000 a month. And these numbers are individual families, right? For retirement, that's something completely different. Guys, it is not your age or years that determines your ability to retire. It is your wealth, right? It is your wealth. It's how much money do you have in the bank right now? How much passive income do you have coming in that whether you go to work or not, how much do you have coming in? That determines whether you can retire. Guys, not age. That's only in the work structure. Age matters. Right? That's not reality for everyone. Those who go out and create income streams that pay them passively, they can retire early. Man, it can be at 20, it can be at 30, it could be at 40, right? It doesn't matter, but you have to have and be a part of that kind of model that allows you to do that. And that's the model that we have, guys. That's why you see smiles right here on these pictures. So what's the objective? We want to help you to earn an extra $300 to $3,000 a month in your spare time. We know the difference that'll make, right? If you want to bump that up to six figures, just teach others how to do it. Danny Couture in Hawaii at this point, because I was willing to just guide him to the system and he was willing to be an active participant. Every time he's paid $1 million, his family, my family's paid about $250,000 when his family's paid 1 million. It's leverage based opportunity, guys, right? Six figures, the six figures that's been eluding you in the workplace. I know what's happened, guys, for most in America, right? And in Canada, you know what happened? You believed that you could make six figures year after year, just kept coming and going and coming and going. You stopped even believing that you're a six-figure person in the workplace. But guess what? You are a six-figure person. It doesn't have nothing to do with the workplace. It's just period. You are. When you take that same work ethic that you loan to the job and you loan that work ethic to yourself, right? You loan that work ethic to yourself. Here's what happens, guys. You're taking more vacations than you ever imagined, right? You're taking more vacations than you've ever imagined. Every year, We have destination vacations valued anywhere between $3,500 and $5,000 based on where we're going, all paid for. My wife and I, we've earned so many trips that my wife spent special time with my son on one trip, my daughter, right, on another trip, my cousin, which is no, her aunt, no, her best friend. Who else? My niece. Yeah, guys, we were just, she was going on these trips with all family members who, for the first time, they were going out of the country. And we earned them here with Legal Shield and we shared them with our family, right? I mean, just how cool is that? The next one coming up is in Maui, right? This summer here, everyone's going to Maui. I mean, that's just really cool. Here it is, guys, right? My cash register at my store was about 99, no, was about 500 bucks, right? Here, the opportunity to launch your business here is only $99. I don't even understand it, guys. I mean, this is less than a handbag, right? A purse, less than some sneakers. Guys, all the money you spent over the holidays, and we could have started an entire business that could pay you $100 a day. They could pay you $100 a day with a willable book of business, all the things we talked about, a proven system, all the training, monthly operating expense. Guys, 25 bucks to run a company from anywhere in the world. Running from anywhere in the world for $25 to run the business. That's your monthly operating expense. All right. Isn't that unbelievable? It is, it really is. Remember, I said it's a la carte, get what you could afford, guys. But it's optimal getting both services because when you do, you get the credit counseling and education as a bonus. Now for only $50, guys, you can start the business, not the $99 that we just shared. This is because it's our 50-year anniversary. We're giving people opportunity of a lifetime for 50 bucks, guys. Mine, it was $250 for me to get started. That felt like $2,500 back then, right? That's what that felt like. Guys, I'm so excited that we get to get up and running. Timing, right, is better than talent. I talked about that. Here you see our CEO, Jeff Bell. He's a gentleman who is accredited for taking Xbox to its first profitable years from 4 million subscribers to over 12 million subscribers. I'm excited to say, man, I was here before Jeff Bell. Yeah, he was just like you, who wasn't aware that legal plans existed. I don't know, like about 10 years ago, right? He's a Bill Gates protege, right? Wasn't a part of this infrastructure. He was a part of Microsoft and some other major investment entities, but he didn't know that there were legal plans out there for $1 a day. And when this company came his way to become CEO, he jumped right on and he said, this is his next big project. Just like what he did with Xbox, he's doing the same thing here. We're now a $2.3 billion company. Guys, it's just that simple. He saw it for the first time, right? Just under 10 years ago. Here you are seeing it. There's always a first time. The question is, how will you respond to the first time? Here's what we like you to do, what we did. Enroll as a member because it's a right now benefit. Right now. Become an associate. It only take 3 minutes to enroll, right? To become a member and an associate, take you 3 minutes to enroll on the application, right? Get trained, right? Get paid and get promoted, right? Your first 20 to 45 days, there's an extra $1,000 cash incentive for you if you take action quickly. Could you use an extra $1,000 like sooner than later? And that's on top of the commissions. Remember I said, that we had a bonus that was more than an entire year's salary at CVS Pharmacy. Yeah, well, I believe that just the income alone on the charts that I shared is enough, but I have to mention the incentives and the bonuses that exist as well. All right, guys. So let me take this slide down, right? And let you guys know that, truly appreciate you guys spending time with us. You accepted that invitation from someone who thought about you. Consider the service truly being a right now benefit. I couldn't think of one reason why not to protect myself and my family right away. I just couldn't. Tell me, we're in America, so we know it's a right now. We only really don't take advantage of it because we think we can't fit it in our finances. But I shared with you that through our members' perks, you're actually losing income by not taking advantage of it. All right, guys. So that being said, we appreciate you so much. Hopefully, we'll become business partners. We'll see you again because we are a servant opportunity. As you heard from Ms. Emmeline Coteau, we are not a scripted opportunity. You get us in real time, and the closer you get to us, right, the more you realize this was the right place. So that being said, guys, take care, take charge, but most importantly, put in the work to become legendary for your family. Y'all take care. Thank you.
Take care, Kevin. And bye.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Kev.
Happy
Thanks.
birthday to
Excellent.
Mrs. Mac.
Excellent presentation, Mr. Matt. Excellent.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Excellent job.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
love.
You're welcome, sweetie.
It was awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, beautiful.
Happy birthday, Smack in a
Bye.
benefit.
Okay. Hi. Bye.
Yeah, take care.
Bye, Mrs. Mac. We love you.
Bye. I love you more.
Yeah, we love
Thank
you.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you so much.
Say it one more time for the rest of us here.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Let's
So you
get
think
that.
about
Let's
doing
get
another
the
one tomorrow?
Sopranos singing
Mrs.
it.
Mac?
I'll take a look. I'll get a message out to you guys
Okay.
and let you know. Since it's her birthday, I gotta put a
Oh,
question mark.
yeah,
in it.
that's right. That's right. See, I wasn't making the connection. Sorry about that. Mr. Burton can present.
Yes, indeed.
You got Billionaire Bill on the call too.
On the
He gets
bench.
There you go, Queen.
Billionaire
One
Bill.
of you
Billionaire
can
Bill
do
go with
it.
us tomorrow.
He's
Well,
perfectly
well, the queen,
I can
well, the
do it.
queen could present.
You
And
guys
Mr.
are so
Butler.
awesome.
Mr. Mac,
Yes, sir.
I said Queen Emily can present. We'll have the house packed for her.
Oh yeah, she's the best of the best. She's the best of the best. Yes, indeed.
You guys are funny. All right, everybody. I'll get back over here to our event. Thank you so much, Mr. Mac. Thanks, everybody.
All right, take
All
care.
right.